8 years ago, it's November 5th, 2016, and Ash Ketchum has reached the Kalos League finals, the first time he's made it to the finals of any Pokemon League. Opposite him is his rival Alain, a trainer with a near undefeated Mega Charizard X. The battle comes down to ash-greninja versus Mega Charizard X, Ash's ultimate league showdown, and when the dust clears, despite Charizard stumbling, Greninja collapses and Charizard is declared the winner, making Alain the victor and the winner of the Lumiose Conference, an infamous historic moment that made Pokemon fans rage at the time as Ash was built up to win the whole league. But let's rewrite history and explore how Ash could have won this battle. Hey Pokemon Champions, I'm Champion Blaze and welcome back to the Ash Ketchum Best Team series where we create Ash's ultimate teams he could have used to defeat various opponents. Today we'll assemble the best possible team Ash should have used to defeat Alain back in the Kalos League finals, and my friend Pokeferlax is here to help with that.
Hey, thank you for having me, dude. I'm really excited to be here to talk about X and Y because I'm a little bit crazy about that series. Ash's Kalos team is regarded as one of his strongest, and deservedly so. All of his Pokemon were fully evolved, he had 2 dragon types, with one of them being the regional pseudo-legendary, and obviously there's the iconic ash-greninja too. That team was stacked to an insane degree, dude. However, when it came to Ash's battle against Alain, I can't help but feel like the team weren't fully utilised as well as they could have been. They did unfortunately underperform, so right now, we're going to take a look at Ash's roster of Pokemon available to him up until X and Y, and we're going to try and figure out which lineup of Pokemon would have been best to guarantee a victory against Alain.
But of course, these will just be our personal choices, and you can leave your own best team in the comments. With that being said, make sure to give this video a like, and let's take a look at how Ash could have beaten Alain. Let's get started. In the Kalos League finals, it was a pretty tight battle between Ash and Alain, even with Ash taking an early lead by swiftly defeating Alain's Tyranitar, and it came down to an intense duel between Charizard and Greninja. Both trainers had incredibly powerful teams at their disposal. Alain's team was Tyranitar, Weavile, Bisharp, Metagross, Unfezant, and his ace, Charizard. Yeah, they really gave this guy 3 dark types, 2 pseudo-legendaries, and then Unfezant, for reasons. Bruh.
Hey, I love Unfezant. Sorry to interrupt.
So Alain's team has a big weakness to Fairy, Fighting, Bug, Ground, and Fire. Ash may have no Fairy types at this point, but he's got plenty of coverage with everything else. But before we create his best team, we need to address that we are definitely at the very least taking Goodra and Noivern off the team. Despite being 2 pretty powerful and strong dragons that high-level trainers tend to use, Ash's dragons just didn't perform the best in the Kalos League. In this battle, Noivern lost to Weavile since Ash thought it was a good idea to send it out against an Ice type, and then Goodra comes out and gets beaten by Bisharp's Guillotine. You hate to see it.
So now let's go over how we'll build Ash's best team versus Alain. Only Pokemon that Ash actually had access to in X and Y will be up for consideration, so released Pokemon like Lapras or Pokemon in training like Primeape or Squirtle won't be eligible. But of course, any Pokemon kept back at Oaksa Lab is fair game, cause Ashy Boy can get them if he wants to. We'll take into account the typings that Alain used, as well as the resistances on Ash's side to defend against incoming attacks, and Ash has a pretty good selection to choose from, and with the amount of weaknesses that Alain has, I'd say the Pokemon we chose here are the best ones for the job. We just know that they'd make Ash the Kalos League champion. So, the first Pokemon in Ash's best team to defeat Alain is obviously the mouse, the myth, the legend himself, the one and only Pikachu. Look, even if Pikachu was weak against every single Pokemon on Alain's team, he'd still be in this video, because it's not an Ash team without Pikachu. But luckily, regardless of that, Pikachu is the ultimate pick for this team in every way. Pikachu has type advantages over Alain's base form Charizard and Alain's Unfezant with his electric type moves, and he has advantages over Weavile and Tyranitar with his steel type Iron Tail attack. And hey, we all know Pikachu basically rejects type advantages anyway. I mean, he literally defeated Alain's Metagross and Alain's Tyranitar in their previous battle, even without huge type advantages over him.
That little mouse is honestly just built different, dude.
I know, right? The only real threat that Pikachu faces here is when Alain Mega Evolves his Charizard, but if we're totally honest, Pikachu did put up a good fight against Alain's Charizard in their previous battle. I feel like he only really lost because Ash didn't really let him have a break or get some rest after defeating Metagross, so hopefully when they battle next time, Ash will switch out his Pokemon a lot more. If he did that, I really feel like he could set Pikachu up to sweep most of Alain's team. I'm being dead serious, dude. And to be honest, even outside of all of that, we all know how busted Pikachu is in general. He defeated defeated Brandon's Regice, he defeated Tobias's Latios, he won more gym battles than we can count, and obviously he became way more powerful after X and Y too. Pikachu gets a poor reputation for sometimes being reset a little bit too much at the start of every new region, but that was only really the case up to Generation 5.
Where the most infamous battle happened. Pikachu versus Snivy.
But hey, since this rematch is after X and Y, we'll be totally fine on that front. In the words of Dawn, no need to worry, dude. I'm not sure she said dude at the end of it, that might have been a Pokeferlax edition. So yeah, overall, Pikachu is an obvious lock-in for this Ultimate team. I'm sure we all already knew that, even if I said absolutely nothing.
So you all knew this was coming. At number 2, we have Greninja, Ash's Kalos ace, the Pokemon that was pretty much responsible for him getting to the Kalos League finals. It's one of his strongest Pokemon of all time, and is highly unique as it has the power to use the Battle Bond ability, otherwise known as the Bond Phenomenon, to transform into the iconic ash-greninja. Ash-greninja is literally the face of the XY anime, like how Infernape is practically the face of the DP anime.
Greninja was truly an important asset to Ash throughout his entire Kalos journey. He was used in almost every gym battle, from going up against Grant's huge Onix, to getting the win against Ramos, to one of the most unique battles ever with Ash vs Olympia, and of course the insane battle against Wolfric and his Mega Abomasnow. Ash and Greninja went through so much together, and everything they did made their bond stronger and stronger every episode. Froakie chose Ash to be its trainer, and it really did make the best decision of its entire life.
Until Ash made the worst decision to release it to be an exterminator for Zygarde. Greninja brings the water dark typing to the team, which it lets it resist any dark moves from Alain's Pokemon, is immune to psychic attacks from his Metagross, would resist ice attacks from his Weavile, resist fire attacks from Alain's Charizard, for the most part, and can deal super effective damage to his Tyranitar and Charizard. Greninja's strength is legendary. One of its most famous examples of his strength is when it almost defeated Dianth's Mega Gardevoir, even without having mastered the power of the Bond Phenomenon. Had Ash and Greninja not fainted, they probably would have won, and so many fans agree with this. Greninja even came out and one-shot in Altaria during Ash's first round battle in the Kalos League. It even gave us one of the greatest battles in anipoke history when it battled Sawyer's Mega Sceptile prior to battling Alain's Charizard. So this Pokemon has shown on multiple occasions that it can go toe-to-toe with Mega Evolved Pokemon. And then there's the fact that had Ash used Rain Dance to his advantage more, that he probably would have done more damage to Charizard. Instead of using Cut, he should have used Water Shuriken while the rain was still in effect. But use Cut, I guess.
I'm honestly not too sure what Ash was thinking with that one, even I can't defend it, bruh.
Greninja is an absolute necessity to this team, and with the combined efforts that the other Pokemon here could put in, Greninja would be in a great position to step into the battle and properly defeat Alain's Mega Charizard this time around.
So next up, it seems pretty fitting for another Pokemon from Ash's Kalos team to get a second chance at defeating Alain too. And luckily, Hawlucha is that guy. Hawlucha has a fighting spirit like no other, with his showmanship, his wrestling costumes, his dedication to his unique fighting style, and he's really a Pokemon that matches Ash's battling vibe perfectly, dude. I feel like I might have just made up the term battling vibe, but you know what I mean, right? It feels like they're just on the exact same wavelength. He's the kind of Pokemon that Ash battles with best, being small, speedy, and packing a punch. Back in X and Y, Hawlucha was such an awesome member of the team, achieving some amazing Ws. He took down Clement's Heliolisk, defeated Wolfric's Abomasnow, a Pokemon who, a few episodes later, was used as the big boss test for Ash and Greninja's Bond Phenomenon. So really, Hawlucha beating that guy is insanely impressive. Hawlucha was even capable in his base form of taking down Mega Pokemon too, like Astrid's Absol. And what's really funny is Hawlucha defeated Karina's Mienfoo, and Karina's Mienfoo later defeated Ash's Gengar, who in turn later defeated Leon.
Hawlucha stronger than Leon confirmed? I'm just kidding.
And of course, Hawlucha managed to take down Alain's Weavile in their previous battle, so he could definitely do that again in their rematch, no problem. And hey, that brings me to how Hawlucha could probably handle the other Pokemon in Alain's team too. We've covered Weavile already, but Hawlucha's fighting type moves and his bug type move X-Scissor, they give him a major type advantage over so many Pokemon in Alain's team. Alain's Tyranitar is 4 times weak to fighting, 2 times weak to bug, and Alain's Bisharp is 4 times weak to fighting too. So I feel like if Hawlucha is paired with some awesome strategies from Ash, then he could definitely defeat those Pokemon.
We need to make sure Serena shows up and makes Hawlucha another wrestling costume too. You can't forget about that key ingredient.
Hey, I mean, it is X and Y Serena. We already know she'll be wherever Ash is. So yeah, all of these reasons make Hawlucha a great pick to take down half of Alain's team.
Greninja's not the only ace a part of this team though. Coming from Sinnoh, let's welcome Infernape. I stated previously that Infernape is basically the face of the DP anime. The two are inseparable. Infernape is also one of Ash's all-time best and strongest Pokemon. Thanks to Infernape, Ash came out on top in so many gym battles since adding it to his team, combined with the efforts of his other Pokemon. Thanks to Infernape, Ash was finally able to defeat Paul at the Sinnoh League and show him that his way of raising Pokemon was right after all. Infernape has one of the strongest wills and most fiery spirits out of any of Ash's Pokemon, and we're going to need that here on this team. As a firefighting type, it can use Flare Blitz, Flamethrower, Mach Punch, and Dig to deal super effective damage to Alain's Tyranitar, Weavile, Bisharp, and Metagross. That's nearly his entire team, but the only one Infernape really needs to worry about is Alain's Unpheasant since it has Air Slash and Sky Attack in its arsenal. Although it's an Unpheasant, so should he really be worried about it?
Hey, leave Unpheasant alone. I said it once and I'll say it again, I love that guy.
With Charizard on the other hand, it would resist Flamethrower and Blast Burn, with Dragon Claw and Thunder Punch doing neutral damage. I could just imagine an absolutely insane showdown between Charizard and Infernape. Infernape's battling history also really warrants it a spot on this team. Its gym battle debut was against Maylene in Veilstone City. It perfectly demonstrated Ash's new counter shield technique against Fantina, put up a hell of a fight against Byron, did massive damage against Candace's Pokemon, and helped Ash earn his 8th and final Sinnoh gym badge against Volkner. It would even go on to defeat half of Paul's team in the Sinnoh League, which includes his Electivire, arguably his strongest Pokemon right behind Torterra. Infernape truly has heart and won't go down without a fight, and I haven't even mentioned its Blaze ability yet. If Ash uses that against Alain, then his chances of winning increased even further, and victory is pretty much guaranteed. Just imagine an epic clash between a Blaze-boosted Flamethrower and Charizard's Blast Burn. That would be a sight to see, so Infernape is 100% getting a spot on this team. Our penultimate team member also comes from Sinnoh, and that's Gliscor. I feel like Gliscor tends to be forgotten about since it only participated in one gym battle, and that was against Byron, and then it spent time training with the Air Battle Master and got replaced by Gible, and then just came back for the Sinnoh League. But Gliscor is actually one of the best Pokemon on Ash's Sinnoh team. Firstly, we have the ground flying type that Gliscor brings to the fight, so this gives Gliscor the ability to duke it out in the skies with Unpheasant and Charizard. Then there's its clutch moveset of Fire Fang, X-Scissor, Stone Edge, and Giga Impact. These moves allow it to deal super effective damage to Tyranitar and Weavile with X-Scissor, Bisharp, Metagross, and Weavile with Fire Fang, and Unpheasant and Charizard with Stone Edge. This actually makes Gliscor capable of handling Alain's entire team, and this is why coverage is so important. And then with Giga Impact, it's just a super powerful move that Ash can use just to use more power to dish out more damage. Plus, due to the training from the Air Battle Master, Gliscor knows how to use this move and properly recover so that it's not vulnerable to attack after using Giga Impact. Gliscor also put in work to get Ash his 6th Sinnoh gym badge going up against Byron's Bastiodon. It was his first gym battle and Gliscor did great. It was also the only Pokemon that was able to defeat Paul's super strong Drapion. Keep in mind, this Pokemon swept half of Ash's team by defeating Weasel, then Staraptor, and then Torterra. Gliscor took hits from it, landed Giga Impact, and finished it off with a brutal Fire Fang. It even has the skills to take advantage of wind currents to fly better, giving it more aerial mobility. This would give it a huge advantage against Alain's Unpheasant and even his Charizard. Gliscor is a Pokemon ready to take on any opponent, and I definitely believe it would have no problem defeating the Pokemon on Alain's team.
Now let's perfect the team with its final member. You already know we've got to go for the coolest Crocodile. The alliteration goes crazy, man. Anyone who knows me knows I was obviously going to steal the segment about the black and white anime Pokemon for myself. The black and white series, loudly and proudly, has my entire heart. And Crocodile does too. Crocodile's moveset right now is Dig, Stone Edge, Dragon Claw, and Aerial Ace. Let's go through those moves one by one to prove just why Crocodile has the power to punish Alain's team. Dig is a ground type move, so through that Crocodile can do super effective damage against Alain's Metagross, Tyranitar, Bisharp, and Charizard. And I already know what you're thinking, dude, but how will Crocodile ever counter Alain's most overpowered terrifying Pokemon of all, Unpheasant?
I never thought I'd hear an Unpheasant described in such a way, but here we are.
Well, Crocodile's Stone Edge comes in handy for that, dude. Stone Edge is super effective against Unpheasant, and is super effective against Mega Charizard X too, but obviously he's less of a threat. Crocodile's Dragon Claw is also super effective against Mega Charizard X2, so that means between these three moves, Dig, Stone Edge, and Dragon Claw, Crocodile is actually super effective against every single member of Alain's Pokemon team. That's absolutely massive, dude. dude. Type advantages aren't the only thing that Crocodile has to his name either. That'd be forgetting his awesome W's in the black and white anime. Crocodile put up a great fight against Ash's Pikachu, he managed to take down Bryson's ace, Beartic, and perhaps Crocodile's biggest feat ever was managing to defeat Iris's Dragonite. A Dragonite who helped Iris become the 7th strongest trainer in the entire world shortly later. Oh, and how could I forget that Crocodile took down over half of Steven's Pokemon too during their battle?
Steven Stone? The champion?
No, not that one, I mean the other Steven from Black and White. So yeah, overall, Crocodile has the power, skill, feats, and type advantages to do some serious damage to every single Pokemon on Alain's team. And most importantly, Crocodile will do all of this while looking like an absolute G in his rockin' sunglasses too, bro. Now that's what you call a king.
Ash Ketchum fought an incredible battle against Alain, but just couldn't pull out the win. However, if he uses this team, he can definitely win. The best team consists of Pikachu, Greninja, Hawlucha, Infernape, Gliscor, and Crocodile. This absolute unit of a team could absolutely make Ash victorious against Alain, the biggest MVPs here being Hawlucha, Infernape, and Gliscor. Even Crocodile is a heavy hitter. There's no way Ash could lose with this team. And a special thank you to Pokeferlax for joining me on this video. Be sure to check out his channel with the link in the description for more great Pokemon anime content. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our channel members for their extra support. Until next time, make sure to train hard, and I'll catch you guys later.